Hello, there, people. Good evening, and welcome back to the Just Your Football Show for the second episode of the White Rose Rivals. I can't lie to you all.
Come on, sing it. We are top the league. We are. Come on, sing it. We are top the league. We both are top the league.
I wanted to cry this show off. Because Leeds are an absolute shit show right now. I'm so angry.
It's been something else. A game that didn't matter last night, and salvaged the late goal against Portsmouth. They're always going to be. I can't believe it. Well, I can because it's Leeds, but the meltdown is unbelievable, man.
No, but you've got Cossi. We have sold. I mean, we have. In terms of sales, there's no club in Europe that's made more sales than us. We were second, but then selling Rutter for 40 million put us on like 250 mil or 150 mil, whatever it is. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's a lot of money. And we've brought in £15 million worth of players in Joe Rodon and Bogle, who, by the way, cannot defend. Right, I've found a worse defender than Junior Firpo, and he now plays at right back for my club. Great going forward, but very shaky in that opening day. I don't know how. Has he ever won a header in his life, Jayden Bogle?
I can't remember any. I'm still a bit miffed. I tweeted you about this. I watched the extended highlights on the Leeds United official YouTube channel, and they cut out the penalty instant, and I had to go, hang on, did I miss that? I had to rewind it. And you cut it out. I don't know why you cut it out. Controversial moments and all that. Hey, warts and all, you got to show that's football.
Business will be booming in your shop behind, mate, won't it? After this week, 2 good wins, mate. Shirts will be flying off the shelves, mate.
Hot cakes. I've saved you one because I know you're going to be an honorary blade this season.
Yeah, I love that blade, that retro one, that Labour one there, mate. That is proper Tony Agana Dean job, innit? Back in the day.
Brian Dean and Tony Agana, did you redo? Put them together, and what have you got? Top of Division 2.
Ooh, I thought we were going to get sued then. Good job it ended like that.
There he is, look. Brian Dean in all his glory, look. There you go.
Yeah, he's smaller in real life, isn't he?
He is, mate. Yeah, it's got a massive head as well.
Massive head. Yeah, it's surprising how big it is. His feet are tiny.
Get down, boys.
Right, let's get stuck into it. I thought, do you know what? In the running order today, I was putting it together and I thought, I'm going to start with Wednesday. Let's start with Ash because, Ash, you took one hell of a beating, as that commentator once said in that Norway game. I think, was it Norway? Hal, you'll be able to tell me, you're a historian. You boys took one hell of a beating there.
It was Maggie Thatcher and all that. That's Joe, can you put our names on? Because I can't remember everyone's name.
Yes, let me do that for you, yeah. I did change the colour as well. I'm sorry, I did change it. Where is it? Here we go. There we go. There you go. Ash, yeah, I mean, shocking last season, but this season, it's a different Wednesday. It's a different Wednesday. I mean, listen, we can talk about Rooney and how bad Plymouth were, but you've got to give props to Danny Roll. Obviously, you beat Hull midweek in the cup as well, and Sunderland up next, mate. You must be absolutely bouncing. I think we've got you in 3 weeks, and I'm already thinking, shit, Farker might get the boot if you don't win that one.
I'm all up for that, mate. I'm all up for that. Yeah, a week on Friday, Friday night kickoff. Yes, mate. Fantastic start to the season. What a difference a year makes from the real crap show that we had pre-season last year to what we've had this season. Has been chalk and cheese. Absolutely fantastic. I know a lot was made of Wayne Rooney's Plymouth Argyle. It was only Wayne. Look, we lost to Forest Green 1-0 when we were top of League One. So there's no ifs, only. It's only. You've got to play every team in this league, and it doesn't matter when you play them. You've got to turn up. And we turned up, and Plymouth didn't. God knows what Wayne Rooney were talking to them in their pre-season. Absolutely abysmal they were. Really were. But we capitalised, and we were really, really good. Really
Actually, like 31 shots, mate. It could have been more. I thought they got off lightly, to be honest. The keeper were good, weren't they? And obviously, Sheffield United.
We were wasteful as well. We were wasteful. Masaba had a few really good chances. I think I'm not a stats man. Anyone who listens to our pod, I'm not a stats man, but I think something like we had, the XG was the highest of all games last season as well. 4.85 or something daft like that. But it was, it could have been 6, 7, 8. It should have been 6, 7, 8, really, to be honest.
Have you got Is this reassessed? I know we're only a gaming people.
Yeah.
But,
I'm going to check it. I'm taking this
no,
week. everyone,
no.
I
But
know.
are you looking at it though and going, do you know what? Why not? Are we gonna go for top 6? Like, has it made you rethink what your pre-season expectations were?
No, not for me.
No?
I know you've got to be positive. I've said at the start of the season, top half, 12 and up, anywhere up that will be a massive improvement. And it is only one game, and it was only Wayne Rooney's Plymouth Argyle, and there is going to be tougher tests. Of course, we play Sunderland on Sunday, and obviously we've got Leeds coming up a week on Friday. It's going to be a tougher test, but what a great start. Just the whole mentality, the fitness levels of all 11 that started on Sunday was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. The new signings, Svante Ingolson, mate. You want to get on him. What a player. Absolutely. I think he's one that Wednesdayites are going to really take to. Really, really going to take to. A freebie as well.
Yeah, it's what I've heard a lot of good things about that player, to be fair.
You even had Timo Werner in crowd, eh? You've now got like, the top players
Big
coming
pull,
to watch.
big pull at Hillsborough, you know.
Yeah, well,
Timo Werner.
Wednesday are back.
Was there as well. Wednesday,
yeah, exactly. She
Colin
probably
Rooney.
what the feck's this place in Sheffield, man?
That's what we say every week as well.
Brilliant, man.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
it was 29,500 there as well. I think Plymouth brought 1,300, which is not too bad. They've got to travel a few miles, haven't they? It was rocking, really good. And for all the Wednesday fans and the owners tried to piss off with the prices. Like
What's this about?
29,500.
Has he been speaking about footy shirts as well, saying he's going to check your shirts and all this sort of stuff?
For all good we've had players re-signing, we've had manager obviously signing long-term contract. We've brought up to £3 million striker in with Ugbo, and then he comes out with it just before the kickoff the other day. Obviously, he said about fake shirts. So your DH specials is it's put out
that website. What? I'll just write it down.
They only want to copy top teams though, Cozzy. That's what it is.
No, this is a true story. I know there's someone last season that never turned up. I think it would do it for my own safety. I should have got to Al's shop, see if we got me one other still one in back door or something, but no.
Yeah, he put a statement out. If you're wearing a dodgy shirt, you could be removed from the stadium and reported to relevant authorities. Come on, lad. We know this. Look, the 70 quid Wednesday shirts, which is absolutely ridiculous. While I'm sat here, that I bought this morning,
How much? What do you say, Tom?
55 for Hull.
What is it?
Shirts.
49.
That's what I love about your chairman. He just don't matter. Everything's upbeat. We're all signing a new contract. Great win. The ground's bouncing. But he's always got a chuck and angry mate, and he just can't resist it. I mean, he's unbelievable, mate. He can't resist it. He'll be sat home now. How can I piss everyone off out of Sunderland? Let me put something out on the website. And he's unbelievable.
Yeah. You gotta be happy when it's quiet. When he's not saying anything, there's always there's that thing in the back of your mind, and he's decided to take it out on Wednesday fans again for people who. But I mean, I don't know, 15, 20 quid off from one of these sites compared to 70 quid. If you've got a family of 2 or 3 kids as well, oh mate, ridiculous. But there you go. And then I don't understand his logic. I really don't. It's coming from him. There's no one else who's going to make these statements, put these out. He is the guy that the book.
They love him on TalkSport, man. I was walking the dog and they were on about it, and I thought, "Oh, they're on about here," and then it was fucking Chad Seary. I was just laughing to myself, thinking, "Oh, for fuck's sake!"
White and Jordan. I think they did.
They love him.
They did a section on it a couple of minutes, but But hey, what else is there? We're lucky at the minute. We're sitting pretty. 2 wins out of 2. If we're going to moan about dodgy shirts, then they're going to moan about dodgy shirts. But hey ho.
Sunderland up next. Are you confident for going into that one, having seen 2 wins?
Yeah, definitely confident, especially after last night's result. It was pretty good with a Welsh second string 11. Couple of players that are on the way out. I know Tom will say obviously that they made 4 or 5 changes from their team at the weekend, which was still a strong team. Saw it and it was like, oh, all right, we're not really trying that much, but fantastic from the second string 11. Sunday, yeah, I am pretty confident. I know we beat them 2-0 last game of the season to obviously keep us in the division, but they're a much different team. They've got a manager now for one. They've not signed any players apart from Jan Paveda. So Paveda's there.
It's the guys that could have been on other teams, man. It's the divides.
Alan Brown as well was a good signing for them.
Yes, yeah, he was a free signing.
Tell you what, though, their midfield, Clark, Bellingham, Roberts, I think that'll be one of the tastiest in the division. I've always been a big Patrick Roberts fan. I know he's kind of flattered to deceive and stuff, but Bellingham's another year wiser.
If they can get that strike, because the one about getting, I think they can get a strike, I think they'll finish top 6 or they'll be in around the 6, I think.
Probably take our place in the top 6, I think, the way I'm feeling at the minute. So, yeah, good stuff. Great to see, though, Ash. Absolutely buzzing for you, mate, honestly. Tom, I'll come to you, Hull City, because obviously you did play Wednesday. We're beaten midweek in the Cup. It's a Cup, it doesn't really matter, does it? It is what it is. Never going to win it and all that sort of stuff. But got off to the season with a 1-1 draw against Bristol City. How's the new manager looking? How's it looking at Hull?
So, the first game, I think it's always going to take time to sort of settle into a new style, and that was evident in the first half of the Bristol City game where we just kept on giving away the ball in like defensive situations, and had Bristol City had the shooting boots on, there could have been 2 or 3-0 up. Saying that, we did create some good chances ourselves, and Oscar could have scored just before half time, and he sort of squandered his chance. Like, ball came across in a box and he had like an open chance and smashed it straight at the keeper. But the key difference from the football from Racine to Walton now is but we're attacking more quicker. We're getting the ball forward quicker as well. Like, so we're playing through the fares, and it's a bit more exciting to watch. But we don't have the players at the minute to sort of carry out the style. Like, Liam Miller came off the bench and looked promising, and that's my biggest worry at the minute. Like, where the goals are coming from. Because obviously we lost 40 to 50 goals in this summer, and we've not replaced them at all. And then last night, just when you thought, you need a striker, and Mason Bairstow sat there, 1 goal in 20 for Sunderland last season. So, and I've been sort of like criticised on Twitter for saying that I'm quite disappointed with the signing, but I say no, like, obviously people saying I'm writing him off already, but I can only say what I've seen in last season, and obviously that was a poor record. But I'm hoping he can come here and sort of prove people wrong. And also we're signing a centre back from Wigan, that Charlie Hughes. Don't know if you've heard of him, but he's Wigan's captain at 20, and I think we're signing for like around 5 to 7 million. So he's our Greaves replacement. So he can't come in quicker, to be fair. And then we're signing this player called Oscar Zambrano as well, who was also at the game, holding like, defensive midfielder. Came through the same academy as Moises Caicedo at Chelsea. So if he's half as good as him, then we'll have a player on our hands. But so Saturday, I think was happy with a point in the end, because obviously went 1-0 down, and then to get that penalty was sort of a saving grace. Like, it was one of them where 1 point sort of felt like 3 in the end. And then obviously on Wednesday night, I was quite disappointed, to be fair, because obviously Wednesday made 11 changes to the team, and we made like 4 or 5, and most of our team that was playing was like our starting team. So it's quite concerning. Like, obviously Alfie Jones and McLaughlin started at centre back. Our new keeper Rachopi made a right blunder.
What a cock up.
Yeah, it was shocking. He's our new. Well, obviously Pando's our number 1 at the minute, and obviously he was trying to sort of stake his claim for a spot, but he's not done himself any favours with that mistake. So yeah, it was quite disappointing to lose last night, and it sort of shows how far we are away at the minute. But we've got 3 signings coming in, hopefully some more as well on top of that. And I still hold my sort of where I think we finish. Probably around mid-table, but yeah, as long as
you say transition. You said sort of like
it's transition season really, because obviously the amount of players we lost, it's always going to be difficult to replace them with the same quality as well. Like, you lose players like Philogene Greaves, obviously Delap was on loan, Carvalho. You're never going to replace them properly, but we made some promising signings. Like Malem last night looked really good. Scored his first goal. Attacking midfielder we got from the Bundesliga. So that was one promising. And Burns as well from Man City played quite well. Sort of like holding midfield, went into centre back as well. So there's reason to be positive, but I think biggest fear is obviously the defensive mistakes early on that hopefully should be ironed out, and then the lack of goals as well, because the only player I can see getting double figures at the minute is Oscar, and
is Tufan gone now? Is he?
Yeah, Tufan was sold as well. He wanted to go back to Turkey, which was understandable with his family and stuff. But yeah, so that's the biggest concern. We've not replaced the goals yet, and yeah, we've got obviously time's running out in that regard. So yeah.
I tell you what though, what we'll say for your chairman, like he don't mess about, does he? Like he really went for it in January, and it sounds like you have brought some decent players in just based on what you were saying.
The biggest concern is that if from outside, well, what it feels like he's sort of losing a bit of interest. That's what it feels like, because last summer he was speaking all the time about I want to get to the Premier League and talking it up and obviously getting fans excited. And then this summer he's taking so long to get business done. I don't know if it was sort of lost in translation. We also said that he's been more bothered about Fenerbahce this summer than Hull. So that's where he's been most of the time, Turkey. And to be fair, it's more down to the team he's put in place to get the business done, like Tan Kesler, the executive chairman, to sort that out. And obviously transfers haven't been sorted, but we know that these things take time. Like it's not, you can't just click your fingers and get players in. Like we're trying to recruit the right players. So I think that's why it's taking a bit longer. So hopefully we can get some solid business done.
And you've got arguably, based on game week 1, the worst team in the division, really, in Wayne Rooney's Plymouth at the weekend, haven't you?
Yeah, he got a standing ovation last night, Rooney, walking back. I think they're trying to get behind him. That'll be an interesting game on Saturday.
What from his family? From his family?
Did they get a result last night, Cossie?
Yeah, they beat Cheltenham, mate. And obviously, I'm keeping an eye on these lower division stuff now, Joe. I'll fill you in, mate. But no, they're ready for all. They're ready for for his home league debut, invert commas. So that'll be an interesting game. That
I'm not taking it for granted.
They were so bad though, like so bad. And he did that thing that he did at Birmingham, and just threw all the players under the bus. It was mad. It was mad. You've got to be confident going into it, Tom, eh?
Yeah, I think I'm quite confident, but I don't want it to spike me in the ass. But
Tom used to John last week. That's Tom's confidence.
No, Tom, we'll get to Joe for the biting in the ass, because the clip from last week, he's got to have got that up.
Did he say like 4-0 or something?
4-0 thrashing, I think he said. So,
I said minimum 3. And we did score 3. We did score 3, man. We did score 3. I mean, we can talk Leeds now if you want. Before we go to Sheffield United, there is I need to refocus and predict what this season's going to look like for Leeds United. I think.
What, after one game?
No,
I'm serious. I'm serious. Like, people think I'm throwing the baby out with the bathwater and all that jazz. I'm not. Like, in competitive games, Daniel Farke's won 2 in 11 now. If we go back to last season as well, which doesn't make for great reading, right? I was so confident before the season started, and it's just dissipated from Saturday onwards. I know we played really well, right? And everyone but we played really well and we created loads of chances. I mean, we hit the crossbar 3 times in the first 10 minutes. I thought, we are absolutely going to wallop these. And then we did that thing that Leeds United do, is just took our foot off. Maybe it was an arrogance or whatever. We just took our foot off and let them back into the game. And, was that 10 minutes Leeds playing that well, or was actually Portsmouth shit in the bed? We're coming to Ellen Road, we're so under it, because when they got their act together, their XG was 0.09 and 0.7, and that was a penalty.
5 shots and scored 3, so I didn't watch the game, but
it was should have won after you equalised, mate. Honestly, I think such an overreaction. How did you miss that after you've got?
I know, but Mellier's had a stinker again as well. 1 shot on goal. One in the back of the net. He should save the first, and then Farke tells us he's the best keeper in the league after.
Joe, what is it, right? Because I can go, right, if I can guarantee, if I look on, I hear that Leeds have not won, I can guarantee I can go on Sofa Scores, whatever you look at your stats will always be the same. You'll have had 30 shots or something like that. The other team will have had about 5 shots, and you haven't won, and you've had more passes, and honestly, every time you don't win, it's always the same.
Well, this is my point, Cossie.
Why is it the keeper's brilliant? Or your defence is bad. Why you dominate? It must be so frustrating, mate.
Well, that's what I said in the post-match stuff. It's like deja vu. I've seen it before, and that's but we dominate. Yeah, but we did the same last season. That's what I mean. It's like I'm seeing the same movie repeating over and over, you know, and then to find out, like, what's making it worse is obviously it's compounded by the ownership at the moment as well, because the 49ers have lied to us at every turn. Oh, no, we've got no issues with FFP. Then Archie Gray gets sold, best academy graduate in decades. Boom, he's away. No more issues now with finances, no more release clauses. Oh, boom, Somerville's gone to West Ham with a release clause. Now we're all sorted now. Late last night, on the expiry, apparently the expiry was the 15th. I mean, it's an unusual date, but apparently they put this in Rutter's contract so it give them, you know, enough time to find a replacement. But he's got one, and Brighton have exercised that at 40 million. So now he's gone. I mean, you, Tom, were talking about it there. We're talking over 50 G&A for these two players. And a lot of people will say that Daniel Farke's tactics are give it to the better players and let them create, you know, individuals. I'm not sure I quite agree with it, because every team has individuals, right? Like, this is how football works. You have some players that are better than others. But, yeah, we just struggled to break teams down. And then Middlesbrough. Like, Middlesbrough midweek, he makes 8 changes. They made 7. And he said, it's on me because, you know, I made 8 changes. Well, they made 7 and Carrick outfoxed him. Scored 3 goals, absolutely battered us. That's the first time they've won at Ellen Road in 13 years. I mean, we've gone from a team that didn't concede in 13, with, I think, only Leicester having a better defence than us, to conceding 6 goals at home in 2 games. It's worrying. And then on top of that, we've brought in Alex Cairns from Salford as a third-choice keeper, Bogle from Sheffield United, Rodon on a permanent, who, by the way, started the season horrifically and was poor in pre-season.
And you can't blame Liam Cooper anymore, can you?
Well, no, they cannot. And this is the thing, Cossie, and I keep telling people, right? Everyone who battered him, we ain't got no leaders on the pitch anymore. You know, Luke Ayling came on in the second half, who, by the way, every man and his dog who had an agenda against this old guard at Leeds United, your Coopers, your Ayling. League One Ayling. Oh, he couldn't get in a League One side. He's gone to Borough. He got the most open play assists in the second half of the season, and he's now their captain. Came off the bench and totally organised them and kept a clean sheet. We've got no leaders now. You know, our leaders are, one of them's Melier, and he's shocking, but apparently he's the best keeper in the league. But hey ho. What's that? Sorry, Tom?
You can't even say like a Bamford's a leader, really, can you? Like,
no.
Things sounding good then, Joe, for a good campaign.
Exactly. But even today, Cossie, in the press conference, like Farke's words were, you know, maybe we have to reevaluate. We're no longer one of the favourites in the league. He said, you don't want your manager saying that first. Well, this is a problem, right? Yeah. And he's very, and I'm sick of hearing the trope of, you know, he says, we're Leeds United. We don't do things the easy way. This is a special club. This is how we do it. Well, I'm sick of being a special case club. Why can't we do all the right things for once? Why does it have to be all... Because, again, Leeds are falling apart. It's the most horrific chant ever. Like, fucking... I hate we can't even say it in a mocking sense anymore, because literally at the minute we're falling apart at the fucking seams. Like,
yeah, Joe, that's a tricky game on Saturday and all, isn't it? So you wouldn't want to go to West Brom, would you, to try and get it back on the road?
Well, this is the point. We didn't beat them. We didn't beat them last season. Corberan had his number. We got a draw and lost 1-0. And then this is my point as well. Follow that. We've then got Sheffield Wednesday. We've then got Hull City, and then we've got Burnley. So if there's, you know, the reason our season, for me, last season went to shit is because of August, and we got 1 win at the last game of the month, and that was against Ipswich 4-3. But outside of that, we got a point here and there. Losses. We lost to Birmingham, drew with West Brom, another loss in there. So how long do you give them? And I know that sounds wild. Genuinely, I do, because it's 2 games. But we cannot afford to have a same season like we did last year, because if we do, we won't go up. And if we don't go up, what we're seeing right now will be fucking 10 times worse next season. You know, because I'm saying, mockingly, like saying we'll be begging Bamford and that to stay. You know, please don't leave us, Pat. You know what I mean? Whereas now everyone's going, get him out. But I just think there's it's worrying, and they've got 15 days now. Because the worst thing is, the club have told us, no issues. We will go at it. We've got a 5-week head start this time, because obviously last year we had the contract issues and Farke didn't come in well late. We've got 5 weeks. We'll be ready for the first game. Bam, 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 bam. We haven't signed a player for 25 days, and we've got 15 days left. And they told us we need 3. Now Rutter's gone. He's saying he wants 4. Where are they? Because we're not paying for Rowe. We're not paying for Jack Clark. We're not paying. You know, I don't know what we're doing. So, and and there's noise that we could get Jadon Anthony back on loan. Well, he couldn't fucking get a game last season, so don't give me that. You know?
Joe, well, Al might be able to come in. So what happened to that Rat Sakiri? He's like, didn't he want to come permanent, or did United? That sounded a weird one, that.
Without being salty here, Sheffield United have bent over backwards and said, "Yeah, we'll pay you more money. We'll also let you have
ridiculous money, aren't they?
Yeah, and we'll give you a release clause in January if it goes to shit." Whereas Leeds won't do that. So, yeah, I mean, Hal, go on, defend your club, Hal. But I believe that's the case.
It's 26 minutes there, lads. Quite a lot to unpack. Matt, my friend Joseph, only watched this last week because of you, and Joseph's missus loves you, so I wanted to say hi. And Joseph's missus, if you're watching, Matt's here. Look at him there with his little face. So that's nice. Farker going on about we're Leeds and the special case. Like Farker won't even know who Alan Clark is, or Johnny Giles, or Peter Lorimer, or John Charles. You know, he doesn't know anything about Leeds. He knows about Leeds from the last sort of 5 years. So talking all that, you know, we're Leeds in a special case. I know more about Leeds from growing up in Tadcaster and driving through Boston Spa and bumping into Tony Yeboah and Gary McAllister and Pierre Laurent, because that used to happen to me. So I feel like I'd be more qualified to talk about, you know, what Leeds are as a special case. And when I was growing up, Leeds were really good and Sheffield United weren't. And now the tables are going to turn. And I'll tell you what, Joe, a lot of people from your channel came on my predictions on YouTube because I said Leeds were going to do crap. I said they're going to start bad and it was only going to get worse and you're going to lose all your players. And I got so much abuse. Well, you were all laughing. You're not laughing now.
Alex, 16 points last year. Has won 2 games, and now this is it.
That's it, Cozzy. Hey, Cozzy, you're only as good as your last game. This is football,
mate. I know this. You're so true, Al. I love you, mate.
Well, Cozzy, I'm also very fond of you. And I want to just say for Wednesday, I never watched Wednesday. I've not watched Wednesday under Danny Roll, but I did last night until I fell asleep. And I've got to say that the way that Wednesday play is really interesting. That Fernando Diniz, the manager of Fluminense, he had this system of like passing it around the back and keeping possession. And I was watching Wednesday do that against Hull. And I thought, do you know what? I quite admire that. That is actually football. And that's not me. I'm not having a go. It's not about to turn into me then.
I'm waiting for
oh, no, I know. It seems like it's going to go that way. No, I was genuinely impressed. And I think what I would love to happen, because I like that kind of football, I would love this scenario. Wednesday, I think, will do well playing this kind of system. Also, you're playing that system. That's a very difficult system. You need a sweeper keeper. You need consistency. So to change the whole 11 and to still beat Hull playing this very difficult way, that shows a lot. That manager has drilled something into this entire squad and they've bought in. So the dream scenario, this works for Wednesday, I think, all the way up to January. And then Danny Roll gets taken by a proper club, a big club, and he takes this system with him.
I'll take
you know
him.
What? He might go to Leeds, but if he leaves Wednesday, I do think they might be in a bit of bother because he's got them buying in, believing, and they are playing special football. It's actually good to watch.
Big Ron's ready to come in.
I did not think I would have ever had that this season. Cheers, mate.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's
a backhanded one, though, isn't it?
It's a little bit backhanded. Yeah,
I thought you were setting it up for a Sheffield All Steel derby playoff final in which you beat them. You know,
honestly, it'd be fascinating. Wilder ball against Danny Roll is going to be absolutely. It's box office. It'll obviously be on telly. And Charlie Hughes. Yeah, I mean, fantastic. I've done a lot of research on Hughes for our channel, and God, I wish.
I just want to. I'm going in 10 minutes, so I just want to put in, mate. But I just want to. I've got something in common, maybe. You know, like when you're just used to losing. I'm not going to go here. Like last season, I hated football. You must have hated football. You don't look forward to games. It's a chore. We won 9 games. You don't hardly won even nowhere near that. And I hate it. I absolutely hated it. Detested it. But and I know it's only League One. And I know you obviously like you've just started at Preston and won in midweek. But it's almost psychologically, innit? Just I mean, for us, it's just like low budget stuff. We've got some decent players, but just to look forward, just like a mindset change, just to think we can go on Saturday. I know it's only Stevenage and stuff, but it makes you just feel good again. And you know them brutal relegations, Joe. You had it over here, didn't you? Where like went down, kind of. It takes a while you've got to get your new players in, a new manager mindset and stuff. And kind of you've gone back to the future, aren't you, and that as well. But I don't know what it's like at Bramall Lane, but like Huddersfield now, I've never known it as optimistic for some time, and yet I'm thinking it's really weird because we're in League One now and we're playing, next 2 games Stevenage and Shrewsbury, but everyone's up for it, mate. And I know you could kind of weird, but it's just when you're used to losing every week, you just hate football, and now all of a sudden you look forward to your Saturdays again.
Well, I'm flying back. I'm flying back tomorrow to the UK from where did you say I was, Cozzy?
You don't need to fly back, mate. It's souvenir shop, aren't you? Back at...
yeah, souvenir shop. That's where I am. Yeah. So I'll have a bit more of an idea of the temperature gauge of how people are feeling, and also the temperature, because even here right now it's 34 degrees as it always is. I haven't seen a cloud for 4 months, and I'm actually thinking that when I go back to the UK, I'm going to come out of the airplane and I'm going to instantly die because it's going to be far too cold. And Jesserin Raksaki, very, very quickly. Jesserin, old biblical name. You don't hear that very often. He probably does. Looks like it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Just, a few little things to sort out, maybe some things to sign, maybe some paperwork to do. And do you know what? I don't think there was ever any hope of Leeds loaning him. I think Leeds wanted to buy him. And I'm not sure about how much bending over backwards.
What did I say last week? Oliver Arblaster. I know it took a deflection, mate. I told you, didn't I? If you want in Football Insight, the Just Joe Show, he'll tell you all who's coming up. These star players, man. Remember the name? 20 million to Barcelona when I bought him.
just before we go to Huddersfield and Cossey, because he's got to go in 5 or 10 minutes. Hal, are you concerned about Hamer at all? Like, as it,
Nah.
it seemed definitely
nonsense.
not.
It's all nonsense, right? If you think about who Sheffield United might lose, Anel Ahmedhodzic is a realistic one that we might lose. Vinicius Souza, we might lose.
He was great, by the way.
Yeah, the club do not want to sell Hamer, and now his release clause is gone. If you're going to sign him, you should have signed him before. And agents know about these clauses. Some of the local journalists, have been having a go at me because I'm the one who tweeted out about his release clause ending. Right, that's only a good thing, surely. I never release bad news that could damage my club, but a release clause ending, that now means if you want to get him, you've got to really stump up the cash. There isn't a single club that didn't know he had it. So it's over now, and as far as I'm concerned, the offer will have to be eye-watering. So if we lose him, we'll get a huge amount of money now, much more than we would have done before. Plus, we've got Siddy Peck coming through, who's the new Oliver Arblaster, and Oliver Arblaster is the new Tony Curry.
Love it. Cossey, come on then, before you got to go, mate. Obviously, you beat Peterborough 2-0, beat Morecambe 3-0 in the Cup. Stevenage up next. You were just saying how bouncing it is at the minute. Talk to me.
Yeah, it's ready for Stevenage winning it on Saturday. No, Michael Duff, mate. Very impressed. Obviously, Ash, I'll tell him, from the season. But, I really like how he is, mate. I'm really warming to him. He's no shit talk, really. He isn't getting carried away with, obviously 2 wins. The stuff he says is really interesting. He's kind of not out in play, challenging players. Yeah, saw that him doing that. Will the lads, once we start losing games, will people be slagging each other off? And it's been quiet, coming from Darren Moore, but and all this kind of stuff. And Brighton Writer, obviously, you were a bit of a strange one when he threw in plenty there. It's quite refreshing, really. And I think what's needed is a big mindset change. And I think the best thing is early on, Joe, you can kind of see his stamp on things, just with a style of play and that as well, kind of a pressing style. The fullbacks like to get forward. Some of those goals have been really good. And the Peterborough game, we saw the game out second half. I'm a bit kind of undecided how well they'll do because they've lost some good players. But second half, they never really laid a glove on us. And obviously, the Carabao Cup, we changed it around. But yeah, honestly, mate, I watched his press conference again today and I'm just thinking, yeah, mate, I like what you're saying. I like what you're doing. And he's saying the test will come when we lose a couple of games because it'll happen. And I don't know. I've always liked a straight talking guy. Obviously, we've been brought up on Neil Warnock, a bit like Ireland. It's very similar to that. But when some people say what they're going to do, and then you see it on a Saturday, and I'm thinking, hey, you said that in a press conference. You can see it on the pitch, and yeah, it's interesting. Next 2 games, you'd think in Shrewsbury and Stevenage, obviously everyone's going to go there thinking 6 points, but this guy knows League One, and you know what, mate? When Brighton United, I wanted him to stay on. I was one of those that wanted him to stay on, but obviously he decided not to. But when I look back at it now, mate, I think that probably is a really good thing for us because someone who knows the division obviously got outfoxed by Darren Moore at Wembley. But to be fair, I think you could play that game back another 9 times and, maybe Barnsley had got it done. But he's a man with a point to prove, mate. After obviously Swansea thing didn't go well, but yeah, just big ticks, mate, for Michael Duff, and the football is watchable. The signings, I think the signings has just got to be good, haven't they? I think last season the signings were horrendous. Obviously, that Bergsaw guy who scored at Ellen Road last year kind of brought the place down with his attitude. There were a few others like that, and we've got rid of them, Joe, and got people that are signed on the same pitch. But I love how he's challenging them there as well, because you know what the reports are, so and so who became blah blah blah. Yeah, but will he be doing that at Christmas? I love it, mate. So at the moment, it seems to be that my worry for really me is so someone comes in for a Mikel Ellick, and we need that window shut. I'm still wondering. I think Derby was sniffing about, but I think Town have told them to get your cash out. So yeah, pretty positive, really, mate. But obviously, things can change quick. Obviously, around it a week ago, you were buzzing, and I went a bit flat, and then all of a sudden. But I just think the Michael Duff factor has been big for us, mate, and I'm really enjoying what he's doing.
Good, buzzing for you. Good, I am, mate. Hal, we didn't really touch on your performance against Preston, did we? Obviously, win 2-0. Look really good doing it. Beat Wrexham 4-2 and as well. QPR up next. All good. Are you done in the transfer market as well?
No. Maybe. I don't know. I think, Jezza and Raksaki hasn't happened yet, so that's still pending. So I'm still kind of thinking about that. And I'm about to go away for a bit. So if we could not do any more business, that would be fantastic, because I have to make a video every time we do some business. So I've got everything in the bank ready for Jezza and Raksaki, and hoping that all goes through and everything's absolutely fine.
Good. And the performance, mate, Preston, to say it was like sort of your first competitive game with these lads, there was some very decent performances in there, I felt, mate. Yeah,
Vinicius Souza was pretty good. Ollie Arblaster, Cozzy's favourite player. Good. Yeah, happy all round. You know what? It's nice. It's a feel-good thing. Last season, I was so miserable, which you might imagine, like, how could he be miserable? He looks like such a an affable chap with a face for radio and a voice for the newspapers. But I was actually miserable week in, week out. It was just taking a while, like a churn of a season, just to get through it. I hated each game. I hate the Premier League. And you know what? For Leeds, it'll be great, because you'll get to enjoy the Championship again next season, and that means you'll win more games. You don't win the games in the Premier League. It's a tough league. Every point matters. Hated it. It's going to be fun this season, then it'll be terrible again next season. Football, eh?
Oh, so you are getting promoted, are you?
Yeah, we're getting promoted. We'll go up as double champions. I think they'll just promote us twice.
We shall see. Matt, you've had to wait a while. Apologies, mate. Listen, I totally... Yeah, I totally didn't take a look at your result until the other night. I was doing some work and I noticed you were live, and I thought I'm going to watch it for a bit. And as I jumped on, I thought I'll quickly check the result, and you lost. And I went, he's fucking lost away again. As I remember commenting, how long's this going to continue, mate? You must have all been thinking, this is it. We're finally going to win away from home, and then you get beat, obviously by Exeter 1-0.
Yeah, it's going to be at least 655 days now. That's when the next away game is. So it's going up and up and up. We were dreadful. It was just like watching Rotherham last season. Steve Evans, you think Steve Evans is going to come in? It's going to be a bit exciting. Might not be pretty, but it's going to be a bit of excitement. Something's going to happen, and it was just garbage. Just pure garbage again. Exeter, a decent team. They're a solid League One team. The classic, probably 8th to 16th team. They're going to be there or thereabouts in the middle. And at their place, they're going to be difficult to beat. But we just offered absolutely nothing. It was long ball after long ball. It was what people think Steve Evans football looks like. It was just slow. It was long ball all the time, and that's what happens when Steve Evans teams aren't playing very well. That's what happens. I'm worried because he's had all pre-season to work out who is good. The good thing is we signed all these players in May and June time, so he has had a lot of time to know who his players are. He's had full pre-season. And it looked like he didn't know who half his players were on opening day. Put this team out. It took until literal kickoff to work out what the formation was, and then I'm probably still not sure what it was actually. There was just basically no positive to take from it, and that's how it was last season. Happy days. Sorry, I brought mood down quite a lot there. Apologies, but yeah, just garbage. But we won midweek, which was a bit better. But you're only playing Crewe, so again, you can't take much from playing Crewe, I don't think, but. He's got work to do. Sorry, you've got Malik Wilkes.
Malik Wilkes is not the answer. It's just not the answer.
Oh, yes.
Is he?
Answer? What's the question?
Yeah. The only club he played for will be Sheffield United, right? I think.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah, in South Yorkshire. Yeah, Dundonny and Barnsley.
Yeah. He
Wednesday
played
night
at our
was.
place as well. He played at Hull, didn't he? So, yeah, it's only Sheffield
Oh, the
United.
option.
Maybe,
I mean,
yeah.
I would say he played at Hillsborough. I mean, he started 5 games in 2 seasons, scored 1 goal.
He's going for the White Rose rivals, like quadric. I don't know. I don't know how you say 6 as a multiple, like 6. Well, 6, but obviously, what is it? Yeah, fuck knows. I'm chatting shit. Yeah.
Sextuplet.
So there you go. Get up there. He's going for the sextuplet of White Rose rivals. So not good then, Matt. No, like what about the weekend? Obviously, Bristol Rovers back at home. I assume. Yeah. Will the crowd be up for it? Like, or was it that bad?
It was really bad. Saturday's going to be interesting because Matt Taylor's Bristol Rovers. So Matt Taylor's coming back to New York Stadium. So there's a bit of a subplot to it. Obviously, with how it went for him in the end, he'll be desperate for a result. Matt Taylor will be desperate for it. And knowing Steve Evans won't want the former manager coming here and kind of taking the limelight away. Steve Evans has just not conducted himself very well recently. Everybody saw refusing the handshake at Exeter. He's now been charged by the FA.
What happened there? Because we saw the clip, but didn't obviously if there were any background on that or anything.
No, I get the feeling that they were unhappy with the referee for not adding time on, and then it's just kind of snowballed a little bit. He's been fined or he's been charged by the FA for shouting at the referee. Ironically, the referee was really, really good, and Steve Evans has still managed to find a way to shout it out and get charged. He's saying a lot of things. He talks a lot, Steve Evans. He mentioned that he managed Leeds United about 7 times in the past week. I don't care, Steve. I don't care who you managed in the past. This is the thing with Steve Evans. When it's bad, it gets really frustrating. Everything about it, you listen to him and he's praising himself for decisions that he made. And last week we lost 1-0, but he still managed to find time in his post-match to praise himself for picking the goalkeeper. Great, we've lost 1-0 and these fans have done a 10-hour round trip, but you picked the right goalkeeper and we still lost. Well done, Steve.
There's a bit of 50-50 at lunchtime or something, didn't it? I can just imagine him eating his like burger and chips or something going.
Meeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Yeah. And I still think he made the wrong decision because I think Cam Dawson's a better goalkeeper, but there we are. There's a bit of pressure because of how bad it was and because of how bad last season. If we wouldn't have been terrible last season, I don't think there's a bit more leeway. We're expecting a bit of positive, much like Sheffield United had and Huddersfield, because he said about Huddersfield. We're expecting something. We as fans feel like we deserve something positive to talk about and think about. And the Matt Taylor thing on Saturday as well adds a bit more pressure and a bit more spice to the fixture as well. But we've got to see performance. I can accept losing. If we lost 1-0 to Exeter and played all right, I can accept that. I can see it. It's fine. But we were just garbage in Exeter to deserve the win, and that I can't be saying the same after Saturday because that'll be really frustrating, more than frustrating.
You sound worse than me, Matt. I'm actually worried for you, mate. You know what I mean?
There was me.
Imagine if Leeds went 650 days without an away win.
There was me, like beginning of the season. So I can't wait to see Matt's smiley face. He'll be winning. He'll be top at league. Got really confident. He's smiling still, but he's got it. You can see it in his eyes. You can see it in those eyes, can't you?
It's mad. It's mad. Shall we get some predictions in before we finish up for the weekend's games? Let's put our necks on the line. So we'll go back round. Let's get some predictions then for the games. Ash, I'll come to you first of all. So let's go back through them. So you've got who again?
Sunderland.
Sorry, I've deleted my notes
Sunday.
as I've gone. You got Sunderland.
Sunderland, 12 o'clock on Sunday. Thank you, Sky TV again. You know. But hey, we're here, aren't we? It's going to be, like I said earlier, it's going to be a tougher test than previous Sunday's game. Super confident. We've got to be the way, like we've discussed, 4-0 beating, and then obviously Hull in midweek as well. Got to say though, the quickest goal ever, first touch, McNeil as well. Great goal, great.
Yeah, it was a good strike.
That first 15 minutes was a cracking, and the second half the Hull basically were all over us. But you know, we held on there. Looking forward to it. Sunderland, unfortunately, I'm not going to be there. I'm going to be on holiday, so we're watching it from.
Where are you going, mate? Anywhere nice?
Menorca for a few days. So
Enjoy.
yeah, a bit of sun.
Enjoy.
I will. I'm going to go I'm going to go 2-1 Wednesday. I'm positive. I totally took aghast by Hal's comment about is liking the way we're playing. So I'll take that. And
am I right though? Am I right?
Yeah,
You are playing possession-based football. It's nice passing around from the back and all that.
Yeah. And it was in Roll's pre-season interviews. He said that's how we're sticking to. That's how we want to play. But you are going to get the hardcores, as we say on our podcast, get it forward. From.
So actually, are you worried about when you play against some of the big boys? We've seen teams try to play that way. You saw Burnley trying to play possession football in the Premier League. Are you worried about that?
Always going to be worried. Always going to, and don't get me wrong. We know it's still going to be a hard season. We've just got to stick to how we play. And obviously, Plymouth did not offer anything. They tried pressing, they didn't. Hull a lot better last night, and you got to say you're worried. But I like how we're going, and I like what you said, and I agree that we have a game plan. We've got a plan A. All 23 at the moment. I've stuck to it. I've been
not sure the keeper that played last night is the keeper for that system.
Pierce Charles, he is a lot better than last night. Trust me, he is very highly regarded.
Because you need to be good with your feet.
He had a couple of wayward passes and he did look a bit shaky, but in previous games that he's played, he does look that's the way he can play and that's the way that they want to play. And I'm quite confident with the more games under his hat, then he will be able to play like that, how Danny wants. But yeah, I think it's going to be any system that any manager plays and sticks with, the opposition are going to study, and try and counteract that. And you've just got to believe in that. And I think Danny and the players believe in that system. And I think it's going to work a hell of a lot more times than it doesn't.
Much better. It's much better putting your style upon the opponent regardless.
Yeah, because everyone says, oh, who are you playing? Oh, we're playing so-and-so. They play X, Y, Z. It's like, well, if you believe in what you want to play and set up, you should stick to that and let them worry about it, or then you have to change, obviously, if it's not working. And
I think the thing of, like, plan B. What's the plan B? Do plan A better, right? That's what it should be. Like, plan A better. This is what we do. We get better personnel and all that. We had it all. Hal would have had it when Sheffield United came into the Premier League, Wilder, and finished like 9th, and then we did it. And, it is tough because then the following season you do get worked out a little bit and you're going up against the best of the best. And that's where the recruitment team, it's on recruitment then for me to make sure they get the right players to then take it to the next level. But the managers are the ones that take the shit for the poor mismanagement behind them, because we had exactly the same with Marcelo Bielsa. And, I pine for that man now. I pine for those days, because since then, well, outside of the Bielsa fucking 3 years, we're back where we belong. And that's the facts, and people don't like to hear it. But, I have to remind people, we're a championship club. Unfortunately, we are decades. No, we are, though, Hal. In the last decades, we are a championship club.
I think historically,
I get you.
Spent more years in the top flight. I think they're a top flight club.
It does me head in, man. It does me head in. Right now, we are a championship club.
You are where you are.
That is a fact, Joe. Yes, you can get that on a T-shirt, and I will back it.
I think it's more so because, like, even now, I still see people going, "Why is Tyler Adams going to Bournemouth? Why is Rutter going to Brighton, this rubbish club?" And I get what they're trying to say, but ultimately, they're Premier League clubs and we're not. And it's hard to come to terms with that fact, and it's took me long enough. But
do you think fans of your club, respective clubs, is history? You're a bigger club historically wise, but for players that have been only a couple of seasons at your club, they want to play in the Premier League, don't they?
Yeah,
they want. So we as fans always think history.
Yeah.
And how I see it, players, it's a job, isn't it? And if they're going to get X amount playing in the Premier League, getting on the spotlight on them, they're going to do that rather than 100%. Stick around and play at Ellen Road.
100%.
2-1 anyway. Sorry about that, guys. 2-1 for Wednesday. On Sunday.
Good. Up the Wednesdayites. I'm going to go for a 1-1 against West Brom. I'm going to go for a 1-1 against West Brom. Not confident at all. And fingers crossed, Well, he needs a result. He needs a win, to be honest. It's not all his fault. It's behind and everything. And just the temperature right now within the fan base is brutal. So get a win and a player through the door. Things quickly change. Football's fickle. It is what it is. But, yeah, we can't lose. Can't lose is what I'll say, because I know people might call it crazy going back to last season, 2 wins in 11, but people are. And if we didn't win, it's then 2 wins in 12, and it's like, you know what I mean? And it's really panic station. So, yeah, one all. Hal, over to you, mate.
I'll just finish my role thoughts. If I was Chanseri, I mean, there's a little big if. I wouldn't have bought Wednesday, but if I was, I would already be having a look at a Danny Roll backup emergency replacement, because one day Danny Roll will leave, and this style is so Danny Roll. This style is entirely wedded to him, which means that when he leaves, it'll be very, very difficult. You know, you can't lose Danny Roll and then get in someone who plays the sort of style like Ron Atkinson used to play, because the personnel will be so used to this way. Now, there's plenty of people in Germany. I was looking at Fabian Herzler last season and the way he plays in his style. There's so many out there that will be like Danny Roll next incumbent. And it'd be a great idea to have like a dossier of a few of them if you're, Chanseri, ready for that inevitable time when it comes, because you're now going to have to keep playing. And if Leeds had done similar when Bielsa had gone and got someone who played a similar style, I don't think Leeds would currently be in the Championship. So I think that's just
that idiot Victor Orta fucking thought he did. Sorry for the language, but he did. He thought Jesse Marsh was Beelzebub.
Well, I didn't think that.
No,
I don't think anyone did they?
Well,
no, one person.
The decision maker.
You saw what happened. And you know what, with Clough, when he went and Frank Clark came in at Nottingham Forest, and people were like, oh, because Frank Clark will carry on the Clough tradition. Right? Well, that was wrong as well. You've got to get it right. And then you saw what Forest did after that. Just they kept going. So Blades will win comfortably, probably 2-0. Be a nice, comfortable victory. So I'm not overly concerned with Queen's Park Rangers. They won't be Queen's Park Ranger. Won't be Queen's Park Danger.
Love that, Matt. Let's hear from you then. Bristol Rovers, what's your score prediction?
If this were any other team other than Matt Taylor's team, I think we were talking a comfortable win. I think after last week, Evans is going to be up, and I think I expect to see that performance. But the Matt Taylor thing scares me a little bit. He's going to want it. And when Matt Taylor, we had some bad performances. When we turned up under Matt Taylor, we were good. We were really good. So I suspect he's going to turn up. So I'm going to go 2-1 Bristol Rovers.
Oh, terrible start to the season. Yeah. Oh, you give it like that to the Millers. Yeah. Tom, who have you got up next? Oh, you've got Plymouth. You've got Plymouth. So, come on. 4-0, 5-0. Come on.
So I'm hoping Hughes, Zambrano and Best are all announced either tonight or probably tomorrow now. But either way, I think we'll get a result. I think we'll win 2-1. I don't think it'll be pretty, but I think we'll get the win.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed we all come back next week happy, yeah? That'd be nice.
Apart from Pistache.
Whoa. Bit harsh.
By the way, before we go, we're 2 subs away from 19k on Sheffield United Way. Okay. That all rhymed. If you feel kind, please support.
Yeah, I'm going to stick it on the chat now. So while I do that, Hal, do you want to just quickly feel some air?
Oh, lovely, Joe. Don't give me a subject, a topic, or any kind of steer at all. You just think, oh, this guy, he can waffle. He can waffle for a living. There's no problem at all. It won't take me long to type this out, but what will Hal say? I can't wait. This is going to be something inspiring, something inspirational, something we can all... Oh, you've already done it. There we go.
There we go, exactly. To be honest, I've just realised when I've clicked on your channel there, that little Tash and Goatee that's not joined up on your channel trailer's a beauty, isn't it? You look so young as well, mate.
I was young once, Joe. I was
only a year ago.
I was young a year ago. No, I just shaved.
It's aged you, being out in...
Yeah, well, Cozzy said I was in the Caribbean. I don't know if anyone picked up on that. No, if Cozzy needs to look urgently at a map, but I am in the Mediterranean. And this time tomorrow, I will be in England. I'll be in England.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, enjoy it and enjoy Sheffield and being back there.
Enjoy Sheffield.
Yeah, Sheffield.
So, yeah, they got some nice things. They got the Crucible.
Is that it, Joe? You finished?
Crazy shit, buddy.
Yeah, I do like that song though. To be fair, it's my secret.
Song.
Sometimes you hear a footy chant, I go, do you know what?
Hey, marching on together.
I'm not gonna lie. I just when it's on, like if it comes on TV, I don't mind it.
Yeah, it's all right.
I've got to say, as a Rotherham fan, they stole that from us. I've got to.
Yes, there is some history in that. Yeah, it wasn't. No one alive, I believe, stole it.
Yeah, well before my time, but apparently it's stolen. So I just,
do you sing it still then, or have you just purely stolen it? That's it, game over.
Like in football ultras when they steal your flag, that's then your flag. Same.
Yeah, cool. Well, on that note, folks, I think we'll leave it there. Listen, it's been a great show as always. Great laugh. It was nice to not have to think about although I did for a little bit, but it was nice to talk Yorkshire football. We'll be back next week, hopefully with some wins on the board for everybody. And make sure you check out all these channels. And see you next week, folks. Bye bye. Oh, and go subscribe.